There is a question that many men, especially as they pass the age of 60 or 65, ask themselves silently. A question that sometimes feels embarrassing to even discuss with a trusted doctor. And that question is, does what I do in my private life have any effect on my health? Could frequent masturbation or sexual relations be good or bad? And more importantly, could this have anything to do with prostate cancer? Today, we are going to talk openly as if we were in my office, because what you do in the privacy of your bedroom, that very personal part of your life, could have a direct impact on how many years you live and, most importantly, on how you live them. I am Dr. Sofía Ramírez, and today we are going to reveal what science really says about ejaculation and the health of your prostate, that small gland the size of a walnut, but with enormous importance. Stay with me because the answer is going to surprise you. To understand this topic well, we first need to get to know our protagonist, the prostate. Imagine it as a small factory located just below your bladder. Its main job is to produce an essential part of semen, known as prostatic fluid. This fluid is not just filler. It is a nutritious cocktail containing zinc, citric acid, and vital enzymes to protect and transport sperm. But the prostate doesn't work alone. Semen is a team effort. The seminal vesicles contribute most of the volume, a fluid rich in sugars to provide energy, and the testicles, for their part, contribute just 1% of the volume, but it is the most important part, the sperm. All of this mixes to form semen. Now, how does all of this come out? Ejaculation is a fascinating two-act process. First, the emission phase, where all these fluids gather in the urethra, ready to exit like actors waiting behind the curtain. Then, with the right stimulation, the second act, expulsion, arrives. Here, the pelvic floor muscles contract forcefully and propel the semen outward. This perfect ballet depends on impeccable communication between the nerves and muscles. That's why conditions like diabetes, or as we will see later, certain prostate surgeries, can disrupt this process. A recurring question in my office is, "Doctor, is it bad to hold back? Can accumulating semen be harmful?" The direct answer is that there is no evidence that not ejaculating causes a serious illness by itself. However, it is not an act without consequences. Imagine a river that doesn't flow. The water becomes stagnant. Something similar happens in the prostate. In men who suffer from chronic prostatitis, a persistent and sometimes painful inflammation of the gland, a low frequency of ejaculation, can worsen the symptoms of pelvic congestion. In fact, a study as early as 1999 observed that increasing the frequency of ejaculation, whether through intercourse or masturbation, helped many men alleviate the symptoms of this condition. It's as if ejaculating cleans the ducts, reducing pressure and inflammation. And there is an additional benefit that many do not consider: the quality of sleep. Ejaculation releases a cocktail of hormones like prolactin and oxytocin that induce relaxation and sleep. Recent research published in 2023 in the journal Sleep Disorders found that sexual activity, especially when it ended in orgasm, significantly improved both the onset and quality of sleep. So beyond pleasure, an active sex life can be your best natural sleeping pill. But now, let's get to the point that I know many of you are waiting for, the one that generates the most doubts and fears. Does ejaculating less increase the risk of prostate cancer? Or, in other words, does ejaculating more protect you? Science has been asking this question for decades, and the findings are, at the very least, quite striking. Let me take a sip of water, and while I do, I ask you for a small gesture that helps me immensely. If you find this information valuable, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It's free for you, and for me, it is immense support to continue creating health content. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's continue. The largest and most important study on this topic was conducted by Harvard University. They followed nearly 32,000 men for 18 years. And what did they find? Something surprising. Those men who reported ejaculating 21 times or more per month had up to a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated 4 to 7 times a month. And a key point, the study concluded that it didn't matter how ejaculation was achieved. It made no difference whether it was with a partner or through masturbation. The protective effect seemed to be linked to the physical act of ejaculation itself, not to sexual activity. Other studies have replicated these findings. A 2017 study and a large meta-analysis in 2018 confirmed this inverse association, meaning the more frequent the ejaculation, the lower the risk. Now, as a scientist, I must be honest, these studies are observational and based on what men remember and report, which can have errors. However, the consistency of the results is so strong that it compels us to ask, why does this happen? So, what is the secret mechanism behind this possible protection? There is no single answer, but the scientific community has several fascinating hypotheses. The first and most intuitive is the flushing hypothesis. Think of the prostate as a sponge with small ducts. Over time, potentially harmful substances, environmental carcinogens, or those from tobacco, can accumulate in the prostatic fluid. Each ejaculation acts as a cleansing, a rinse that expels these substances before they have time to damage the cells. If ejaculation does not occur frequently, these toxins remain in contact with the prostatic tissue for longer, increasing the likelihood of mutations that lead to tumors. The second theory has to do with hormones. Frequent ejaculation could help maintain a healthier hormonal balance within the prostate, regulating levels of testosterone and other androgens, which in turn would control unchecked cell growth. A third idea, which I find very interesting, is that sexual activity acts similarly to physical exercise. It stimulates the immune system, which is our defense army, not only against viruses but also against cancerous cells. An active immune system is more effective at detecting and eliminating abnormal cells before they become a problem. Finally, it is believed that the muscle contractions during orgasm improve blood flow, reduce local inflammation, and decrease oxidative stress, a key factor in aging and cancer development. After hearing all this, the million-dollar question is, Doctor, so how many times do I need to ejaculate per month? And I want to be very clear on this point. Although the study mentions 21 times, that number is not a medical prescription. It is not a goal you should force yourself to meet. Sexual health is not a competition. The ideal frequency for each man is completely personal and depends on many factors: your age, your overall health, whether you have a partner or not, your stress level, your mood. The list is endless. Forcing yourself to reach a number can generate anxiety and stress, which is counterproductive to health. What these studies suggest is not an obligation, but a concept. A sexually active life and a regular frequency of ejaculation seem to be components of a healthy lifestyle that protect the prostate. The key is to listen to your body and find your own rhythm without pressures or guilt. And now, I would like to hear from you. What do you think about this? Do you think there is a normal number, or is it something totally personal? Leave me your opinion in the comments. I am very interested in reading different perspectives. And while you do that, don't forget to drink a glass of water, which is also very important for your health. All right, now let's touch on a crucial topic that concerns many men. What happens to my ejaculation if I have prostate surgery? Here, it is essential to differentiate between the two main types of surgery because their consequences are radically different. First, let's talk about surgery for benign enlargement or benign prostatic hyperplasia. This is the most common operation. Over the years, the prostate grows and can squeeze the urethra, making urination difficult. The surgery aims to unclog the pipe by removing the internal tissue, causing the obstruction, but leaving the outer capsule of the prostate. The most frequent consequence of this surgery is retrograde ejaculation. What does this mean? It means that during orgasm, the semen, instead of being expelled outward, goes backward into the bladder. This happens because the surgery alters the small gate, the internal sphincter that normally closes to prevent this. It is very important for you to know that you will continue to have orgasms. The sensation of pleasure will be the same, and your erection does not have to be affected. You simply won't see the semen come out. This semen is later harmlessly eliminated with urine. It is my duty as a doctor to always explain this before surgery so that the patient does not get scared or frustrated afterward. The second case is very different. Surgery for prostate cancer, called radical prostatectomy. Here the goal is to cure cancer, and to do this, the prostate is completely removed along with the seminal vesicles. By removing these organs, semen production disappears. Therefore, after this surgery, there is no ejaculation. The orgasm can still be felt, known as a dry orgasm, but there will be no expulsion of fluid. Additionally, this surgery is more complex and has two important risks: urinary incontinence and erectile dysfunction, as the nerves responsible for erection run close to the prostate and can be damaged. Fortunately, with modern techniques like robotic surgery, we can sometimes preserve these nerves and greatly improve the results. After everything we have discussed, I want you to take away one clear and powerful idea. There is no magic formula to prevent prostate cancer, no miraculous diet, no secret supplement, no magic number of ejaculations. The most important tool you have is prevention through medical checkups. Having your annual checkups with the urologist, measuring your prostate-specific antigen, PSA, and having a digital rectal exam when your doctor indicates it is what can truly save your life because it allows any problem to be detected in time. That said, maintaining a regular frequency of ejaculation seems to be beneficial, but take it as one more piece in a large puzzle. What are the other pieces, the ones that have been scientifically proven to be crucial? Don't smoke. Maintain a healthy weight. Eat a balanced diet with more vegetables and fewer processed products. And, above all, move. Sedentary lifestyle is one of the greatest enemies of your prostate and overall health. Be very careful with internet charlatans who promise miraculous cures. Health is a serious matter. If you want to know more about how to start your checkups or what the PSA results really mean, I recommend you watch another video I prepared on my channel, where I explain everything you need to know about prostate cancer. I am immensely grateful for having accompanied me this far, for your time and trust. If this video has been useful to you, if it has cleared up your doubts, the best way to support me is by leaving a like, sharing it with a friend or family member, and subscribing to the channel. Your support allows me to continue creating honest, science-based health content for more people. Take control of your health. Until next time.